Imagine opening a present on Christmas morning in 1989 and finding a tiny video game you could play anywhere, even in the car. Back then, 3 amazing toys changed everything. A pocket-sized Game Boy that let kids game on the go, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures that everyone wanted, and a talking bear named Teddy Ruxpin that could tell you stories. Today we're going to discover why these gifts were so special and how they actually worked. By the end, you'll know what made 1989 one of the coolest Christmas years ever. Welcome to Goalie's PIP Academy. Let's travel back in time to 1989. Kids didn't have iPads or smartphones. They didn't have apps to download. But in April of that year, something incredible happened. Nintendo released the Game Boy, and it changed gaming forever. Picture this. Before the Game Boy, if you wanted to play video games, you had to sit in front of a TV. You were stuck in one spot, usually in your living room. But the Game Boy? You could slip it in your backpack. You could play it on a road trip. You could play it at your friend's house, or even outside on a sunny day. It was freedom. The Game Boy had a small screen, but here's the cool part. That simple screen meant the batteries lasted for hours and hours. Kids could play Tetris, where you fit falling blocks together like a puzzle, or Super Mario Land, where you guided Mario through tiny pixelated worlds. The games were simple, but they were super fun. And because you could take it anywhere, kids started playing games in totally new ways. They'd challenge their friends on the bus. They'd trade games at recess. The Game Boy made gaming something you could share and take on adventures. It sparked creativity too. Kids imagined new levels, drew their own game characters. All right, time to see if you were paying attention. Here's your first quiz question. What made the Game Boy special in 1989? A. It was the first video game ever made. B. You could play games anywhere you went. C. It could make phone calls. D. It was free for everyone. The answer is B. You could play games anywhere you went.
Yes! Hey, you're watching Goalie's PIP Academy, where we teach about science, geography, history, everything about the whole world. If you want to watch these classes with no ads, no distractions, go to getgoalie.com.
The Game Boy let kids take their games on adventures, and that's what made it so revolutionary. Now let's talk about another huge gift from 1989. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. You might know the Ninja Turtles from movies or cartoons today, but in 1989, they were everywhere. And I mean everywhere. These weren't just any action figures. Each turtle had his own personality, his own color bandana, and his own weapon. Leonardo wore blue and led the team with his swords. Raphael wore red and was tough with his sai. Donatello wore purple and was the brainy one with his bow staff. And Michelangelo wore orange and loved pizza while swinging his nunchucks. Kids loved collecting all 4 turtles. They'd set up battles against the evil Shredder and his Foot Clan. They'd create their own stories, imagining the turtles fighting in the sewers of New York City. The toys had movable arms and legs, so you could pose them in action scenes. Some even came with cool accessories, like turtle vehicles or their secret lair playset. But here's what made them really special. The Ninja Turtles showed kids that being different was awesome. Kids learned that working together and respecting each other's differences made everyone stronger. Plus, the turtles were just fun. They fought bad guys, ate pizza, and cracked jokes. They were heroes, but they also felt like friends you'd want to hang out with. Ready for quiz question number 2? Let's see what you remember. True or false? The Ninja Turtles taught kids that being different is awesome, and working together makes everyone stronger. The answer is true.
Yes!
Okay, time for the third amazing gift of 1989. Teddy Ruxpin. Now this one was extra special because it felt like magic. Teddy Ruxpin looked like a cute, cuddly teddy bear. He had soft brown fur, big friendly eyes, and wore a colorful vest. But when you turned him on, he came to life. Well, Not really alive, but he could move his mouth and eyes while telling you stories. It was like having a storytelling friend right in your room. So how did Teddy Ruxpin actually work? This is where it gets really cool. Inside Teddy's back, there was a cassette tape player. Remember, in 1989, people listened to music and stories on cassette tapes, kind of like how we use streaming now, but with physical tapes instead. You'd slide a special Teddy Ruxpin cassette tape into his back. When you pressed play, the tape had 2 tracks. One track played the story out loud through a speaker in Teddy's body, but the other track sent secret signals to tiny motors inside Teddy. These motors were connected to Teddy's mouth and eyes. The signals told the motors exactly when to move. So when the story said, "Hello, I'm Teddy Ruxpin," Teddy's mouth would open and close like he was really talking. His eyes would blink and look around too. We call this animatronics, which just means using electronics to make something move like it's alive. Kids absolutely loved Teddy Ruxpin because bedtime stories became an adventure. Teddy would tell tales about a magical land called Grundo, where he'd go on quests with his friends. Each story taught lessons about friendship, bravery, and being kind. And because Teddy seemed so real when he talked, kids felt like they had a special friend who was always there for them. Time for our final quiz question. Let's see if you've been learning with us. What made Teddy Ruxpin's mouth and eyes move? A. Batteries and magic. B. Tiny motors inside Teddy Ruxpin. C. A person hiding under your bed. D. Wind-up gears like a clock. If you said B, tiny motors inside Teddy Ruxpin, then well done. That's right.
Yes!
So there you have it, the 3 coolest Christmas gifts of 1989. The Game Boy gave kids the freedom to play games anywhere and sparked tons of creative fun. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures taught kids about teamwork and let them create their own adventures. And Teddy Ruxpin used clever animatronic technology to bring stories to life in a magical way. These toys weren't just fun, they changed how kids played and learned. They sparked imagination, brought friends together, and showed that technology could create amazing new experiences. Even today, we can learn from these classics. The best toys and games are the ones that let us be creative, work together, and go on adventures. Now you know what made 1989 such an incredible year for Christmas gifts.
My mind is blown! Where can I learn more about these videos? Oh yeah, getgoalie.com. There's no ads, there's no junk, just cool stuff for kids and a dedicated tablet. Check it out, getgoalie.com.